Good evening, baseball fans. Happy MLB trade deadline eve. We got some moves happening left and right. Candelario to the Cubs, Savali to the Rays, Sewald to the D-backs. What's going on with Verlander? What's going on with Flaherty? What's going on with Verdugo? What are my Red Sox doing? What is happening tonight? We'll be here live for the next couple hours. Let's dive in. Good evening, baseball fans. How you doing? We're a little earlier than last night. It's what, 8:30 now on the East Coast. We got a busy night, so to me, I had to go earlier tonight. You never know what's going to happen on the Major League Baseball trade deadline eve. We are less than 24 hours until the deadline. I'm pretty excited. I'm not going to lie. It feels like most of the major moves, in my opinion, are probably done. However, we still got a couple out there. We got Verlander still sitting out there. Could he be moved? I'm still 50-50 on it. I'm still not completely sold that Verlander is going to get moved. We still got Flaherty out there. The Cardinals are not done. We still got a couple pieces on the Nationals. The Red Sox haven't made any moves. The Yankees haven't made any moves. The Orioles haven't made really any moves. I mean, we got to see something happen with these teams in contention. But we still got a long way to go. I mean, we're, 21 and a half hours away from the deadline? That feels like 2 days almost, considering how close you're getting to the deadline. These guys are not going to be sleeping tonight. Man, I've always wondered. I wonder what it's like to be in that front office the night before the deadline. Do these guys even sleep? I would imagine, how could they sleep? Because when you're sleeping, another team's making a move. So, I don't know. I think I always find that pretty interesting to think about. But there definitely are still some moves to be made out there. We're going to be all over it tonight. This is your number one stop for everything trade deadline tonight. So if you can, everyone, like the stream. Right now, I believe we're at around 50 likes. 51 likes. The like goal for right now is 100. If you can help us get to 100, I will love you forever. And also, if you can share the stream as well, that will be greatly appreciated. If you can, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Facebook, share it with your grandma down the road. Go share the stream. Let's get a party in here tonight. It's going to be a fun night. Also, hit the bell notification. Tomorrow, I will be live. I will be live for quite a while tomorrow, everyone. I'm thinking a big day tomorrow. I'm not kidding. I'm thinking maybe even more than a 5-hour stream. Maybe even a 6-hour stream. Maybe even 8. I'm thinking about it. Everyone. I'm just saying. I wasn't able to do the trade deadline last year. And that stung a little bit because I had to go back to work last year on the day of the deadline. Everyone was here having fun. Everyone was live. Everyone was doing their analysis. Everyone was reacting to trades. And me as a teacher, my last day of summer vacation was the day before the deadline. I was insanely disappointed last year that I couldn't be live. So I'm going to make up for it this year. I think I'm going to be doing an all-day stream. I'm not even kidding. So luckily, I don't have to go back to work until this Friday. So pretty stoked about that. So we will be here all day tomorrow. So be on the lookout. I'm thinking at some point, I would say sometime before noon, I'm going to go live probably. The deadline is at 6 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. I'm thinking about just being here all day, everyone. I'm not kidding. Again, it's the deadline. Lots of moves can happen, especially leading up to the deadline. I'm excited. You're excited. So we have had some moves today. We've had quite a lot of moves, actually. It feels like moves are starting to come in now. I'm sure we're going to get a couple more by the end of the night. I would imagine we will. We're getting into crunch time here. So we'll be on the lookout tonight. We'll be talking all the trades that have happened so far today. And I'll be giving my analysis on each one. We'll be looking at baseball trade values. We'll be looking at the values of each of the players. We'll be looking at the prospects that these teams have received. We'll be diving into everything. We'll be catching up with everything that's on the rumor mill. What's going on with Justin Verlander? What's going on with Eduardo Rodriguez? What else are the Cardinals going to do? Could the Cubs maybe make another move? They're making moves tonight. Goodness. Jeimer Candelario, that kind of blew me away a little bit. I was like, wow. Can't believe the Cubs, they pulled that off. So, hey, good for them. Well, we'll get to that in a little bit. But there's a lot more moves to be made, everyone. So here we go. Before I do get started, if you can, go check out Underdog Fantasy. That is our sponsor for tonight. The link is in the description down below. If you deposit $10, you'll end up with $20 because they will deposit, or they will double your deposit, your first deposit, up to $100. I am currently in a daily draft as we speak. I will actually go check on the team right now. Let's actually go pull this up real quick while we wait for some more people to come on in. But right now I am in a daily draft. So taking a look here. Taking a look. So as of right now, again, just going over our sponsor for tonight before we really dive in. So I joined quite a big daily draft here. There's a lot of entrants here. So grand total, we got $5,000 on the line. So far, I'm winning $4.70. I had to pay $9 to get into this one. But overall, we are doing okay. My roster for tonight, I went with Alex Cobb as my starter. That's going to be a late one tonight, so let's see how that one goes. Brandon Lau so far, off to a good start for me. Bo Bichette, I actually think I just saw Bo Bichette is out of the game, so that's a bummer. But we got Yordan Alvarez, Julio Rodriguez, and Hunter Renfroe in the outfield. With the daily drafts, I tend to look at the guys that are hot. That's been paying off for me so far. But there's also more when it comes to Underdog Fantasy. There's also daily pick'ems where you can go over-unders. So, like, for example, you got Josh Lowe. You can go higher, lower on strikeouts. Austin Hayes, Gunnar Henderson. You can take your pick, and you can make up to 5 selections. So go check out Underdog Fantasy. I've been enjoying it so far. Proud to say that we are partnered with Underdog Fantasy. But make sure you play responsibly. That is the most important thing. So let's dive into it, everyone. Let's get to it here. So let's just get caught up on everything. Let's just dive in. So taking a quick look, we actually did just get a trade in with the Reds and the A's. We actually just got a minor deal as well with the Cubs and the Royals. So let's go take a look at this. 1 second. I'm clicking on the wrong thing. Here we go. Where do we got? What do we got? Here we go. So I just talked about this last night. Just getting caught up here on some of the minor deals that have been coming through. Jared Cole, how you doing? Skubal to the Dodgers is fake. What would it actually take? For Skubal? I mean, for Skubal, I'm not sure. Hold on 1 second. Let's get this pulled up here. Let me get to that super chat here before I do get started. So, if you were to get Skubal, so you're saying it's fake. Did someone report that? Like, did someone actually say that was a thing? I did not see that anywhere. So if you were to do the Tigers and the Dodgers real quick. So if you were to do Skubal, Skubal right now, baseball trade values is listing Skubal at right around $35 million. He's still under a lot of control. Hey, we've seen Skubal be really good. So Could the Dodgers end up getting this done? Yeah, sure. But, he's got the injury history, so I wonder if the Dodgers would be really motivated to go after Skubal. I do think the Dodgers are going to land some starting pitching. We'll get to them in just a little bit here. But let's get to the story that just rolled in a little earlier. Sam Moll going to the Reds. I know this is not the flashy one. This is why I'm getting started with this, so I can just get it out of the way. But I just want to point out that with this deal, Sam Moll has a bit of value because he's under control for a long time. He's going to be under control until 2028. So for the Reds, I like that they're beefing up their bullpen here. To me, I wonder if that's telling me that the Reds are going to be pivoting more to focusing on the bullpen than the starting pitching. I absolutely could see something like that. Because right now, when I look at this rotation, it seems like they've kind of gotten their eggs in a row, eggs in order here. You got Ashcraft and Abbott. These guys Abbott's been great. Ashcraft has been pretty solid for the most part. You got Lively here. I feel like this is the route they're going to end up going because I don't see the Reds really going after a starting pitcher that's going to cost them a ton of prospects. When we're looking at the market, you have to go with the market. You can't dictate the market. The market dictates what you do. So we've been seeing a lot of pitchers moving, and you're having to see a lot of, decent prospects have to get moved back. So I don't see the Reds really doing this. I really don't. So in the end, this move doesn't surprise me very much that they're just looking to, the bullpen's been really good this year, but they're looking to beef up the bullpen for the stretch run. And I think they're just going to wait for Hunter Green and Lodolo to come back. They should be back by the end of August. So we'll wait and see. Elias, thank you so much for the couple of super chats, my friend. I really appreciate that. You are amazing, my friend. So let's get to it here. Let me actually put on the music. So we got some tunes to listen to tonight. Let's get the vibes going. Here we go. Alrighty. So let's get to it here. Okay. So, and also, real quick, going back to this, the Reds and the A's trade, Boyle is heading back to the A's. So, if we're actually take a look, this actually is going to come up as it looks like it wouldn't be approved, but when you actually do it, it is a major overpay. So, for Boyle, they're getting a pitching prospect in return. So, he's got some pretty decent stuff. So, for the A's, they tend to look for like these little tool, they look for one major tool. And with Sam Boyle, if I were to actually go pull up here the Reds' top prospects. So let's go back here. So pulling up Sam Boyle. Alrighty, where are we? Man, pipeline is moving slow tonight. So I believe Boyle, yes, he was the number 28 prospect. So if we could take a look at Boyle here, he is 6'7". Again, there's like these aliens here, man. These guys are huge. 6'7". Are you kidding me? Not amazing numbers in AA as of right now. 19 starts, a 4.50 ERA. He's got 122 strikeouts in 84 innings, though. But like I said, the A's, they like to look for one really good tool, and this guy's got a massive fastball. This dude's got an 80 fastball. He's going to be around 100 for the most part, so look out for that. He's got a decent slider as well. Not a whole lot of control, but, the A's, they like to go after guys like these, so I'm not really surprised about them adding a piece like this. So overall, I think Boyle has really high upside. So, yeah, despite, a $2 million median value compared to Moll's $9 million value, which is mainly due to how much control he has and the success that he's had so far in the major leagues, I honestly think this is a pretty even trade. For the Reds, you're getting a reliever that you can depend on for multiple years, while the A's, you're getting a guy that has a lot of upside. You're not really sure where he's going to end up landing. So to me, I like this trade overall. I think it's more even than it actually looks. So let's move on here. Let's get to Jeimer Candelario. Jeimer Candelario, one of the bigger names, moved today. We'll get to Savali in just a little bit. Cameron Breton, how you doing, my friend? Are the Bo Sox going to do something cool? Dude, I got faith in Heim, man. I just have this feeling in my gut that they're going to do something. I would be very surprised if they didn't get something done. I really would. I've been watching this team now for a long time, and my gut is just telling me something is going to happen with this team. We're gonna talk about Verdugo here in a little bit. His name came up on the rumor mill last night, so we'll get to him in just a little bit. But with Alex Verdugo, that is a guy that can absolutely bring back some pitching. They need pitching, and they want cost-controlled starting pitching. Would not be surprised to see him moved. I've been saying this now for over a month with Verdugo. So to answer your question, I guess the word cool is pretty subjective. I think they do something. I don't know what they do. I don't know if they end up getting a pretty awesome piece, or if they end up getting someone like a Paul Blackburn, where he's not going to be like the most exciting name, but he's going to be someone that can give you some innings, right? And he's under control for a couple more years. So I don't know what they do, but I think they're going to do something. I hope they do something cool. I hope. So let's get to it here. Let's get to Jeimer Candelario. Let's get to him here. So I really like this for the Cubs. Listen, we weren't really sure what the Cubs were going to be doing. We had really no idea what they were going to be doing as of last week. And then report came out, not trading Bellinger. I'm imagining they're not trading Stroman at this point. Stroman wants to sign with the Cubs long term. So I just honestly don't see the Cubs moving Stroman, especially now. After you've gotten Candelario, I think the Cubs are looking really good right now. I love this for the Cubbies. I really do. And taking a look at the trade overall, there are some cash considerations in this deal. I wasn't exactly sure what the cash was, but this was the trade posted by John on baseballtradevalues.com. It is as close to even as you can get. Candelario right around a $6 million value. And for the Nationals, you're getting a couple of prospects here. A shortstop prospect is never a bad thing to get. And then you got Hers as well, a pitching prospect. So let's actually go pull up here the Chicago Cubs when it comes to their prospects. So let's see where they rank overall. So we got Hers and we got Made. So Made, as of right now, is your number 14 prospect, and Hers is your number 16. So that sounds about right. A couple of mid-level prospects in their system. You got a shortstop prospect who's pretty far away at this point. But when I'm looking at Kevin Made, I see the 55 run. I see a good arm. I see a good field. Looks like the hit tool is fine. Maybe he needs to add a little bit more pop. He's not doing anything amazing as of right now in the minor leagues, but this is a guy that could have some upside down the road for you. And then you get DJ Hers. You get a lefty here. He's having a decent season at AA, a 3.97 ERA, 14 starts. He's got 80 Ks over 59 innings. I think that's pretty decent overall for the Washington Nationals. You got to remember here, with Candelario, this is a guy that was on a one-year deal. And, really, Candelario, when we look at the numbers with him, very good. Very good. Amazing number. And I would say amazing. Not amazing numbers, but good numbers overall. 258 on the average, a 342 on base, the 481 slugging, 16 homers, a 121 WRC plus. He's good defensively as well. So I think overall, Candelario, it's a solid player for the Cubs to get. And, they didn't have to really shell out a whole bunch. I think these prospects could end up being something for the Nationals down the road. We'll have to wait and see on that. But in the end, this is kind of the deal that I was expecting. I was expecting around, a couple of mid-range prospects for Candelario. Not surprised about this deal at all. Not surprised. I think for the Nationals, just keep beefing up your farm. It never hurts to add shortstop prospects. Never hurts to add pitching prospects. I think overall, this is a good deal for both sides. But when you're looking at the Cubs, Tom Amiano, I see your super chat. I'll get to that in 1 second, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. But overall, I'm really liking this lineup right now. When you're looking here, this is a good-looking lineup. You still got Bellinger. You got Happ, who's hitting very well lately. Nico Horner, Tauchman. I like it overall. Obviously, Swanson's there. Morel has been just red hot. Really like this lineup for the Cubs. I think it's really solid. I think they could end up adding another piece for the bullpen. I feel like the starting rotation, I feel like they'll probably stand pat with the rotation. I could see them making possibly another move, when it comes to the bullpen. Actually, I think they just made... Hold on a second. Didn't they just make a trade with the Royals? Yes. They just actually made a trade tonight with the Royals to get Jose Cuas. So taking a look at him, when we look at the numbers overall, he's got a 4.54 ERA. The FIP is a 4.45. So he's a big sinker guy. Not amazing numbers overall, but he's got over 11 strikeouts per 9. Hey, it's a guy for the bullpen. It's just reinforcing it a little bit. Adding another arm doesn't hurt. So I wonder, now that I think about it, I wonder if the Cubs are actually pretty much done for the most part. They got a bat. I think you could see them possibly add another arm, but I feel like for the Cubs at this point, I feel like they're probably done. I feel like you're probably not going to see much more out of them. I could be wrong, though. You never know. It's trade deadline season. You never know. But taking a look one more time at the trade, again, pretty even for both sides. I like this overall. So, Tom Amiano, let's get to your super chat. $4.99. With the Sox linked to DeJong, do you think they could pull off Flaherty too? Or is that wishful thinking? I honestly think DeJong and Flaherty together in a deal makes a lot of sense. Flaherty is a ground ball pitcher. DeJong is a good defensive middle infielder. He's a shortstop right now. If he were to come to the Red Sox, I would imagine he's going to be a second baseman with Story coming back to play short. But those two, up the middle, it seems to, for me, make a lot of sense to me. And if you get Flaherty, I think that's a guy. I don't think the Red Sox want a rental. I think they're really looking at, in my opinion, if I'm trying to think like Heim, right? I'm thinking this guy has a bunch of different options on the board, and he is doing everything he can to keep up with the market, right? I think he would rather get a cost-controlled guy. I think that's probably what he's working towards. My guess is Heim is really working those phones right now. I really think that. I think all of those guys are just working extremely hard right now. The sense that in my gut, it just seems like you got to make a move for the now, but also for the future too. If you're going to make that kind of a move, I really do think that move needs to happen here. It just, you feel the urgency a little bit, right? And I think I just got this feeling that Heim really wants to do something. Especially with everything that's happened, going back to the offseason. I really do think that he just all the naysayers, all the boos that happened at the Red Sox, the Winterfest or whatever it was. I feel like this guy wants to make a move, especially with how well they've been playing. I don't think he's going to go out there and make a blockbuster move, but I could see something like that with a Paul DeJong, right? Flaherty would be a rental. But I think if you have DeJong, who you have a couple of club options for, I think that's pretty nice to have. Especially a guy that can hit pretty well, hit well, not amazing, but he's going to play good defense. So I definitely agree. I think DeJong and Flaherty could go really well together. B&B, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? $1.99. Twins go out and get Pete Alonso or Paul Goldschmidt. Funny enough, I don't think Pete Alonso is going anywhere. But I actually saw something today with Paul Goldschmidt that they could still be open to a possible trade. I don't know. I feel like they want to keep Goldschmidt and Arenado. Listen, if a team really comes out and says, hey, we want to get something done, we want Goldschmidt, and if they give them an offer they can't refuse, I really think that you could see something. I would not completely discount Goldschmidt being on the move. I think it's going to have to take the right move, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going to lean more towards Goldschmidt staying, but would not be surprised if a blockbuster deal comes up, right? The Cardinals, they've gotten their feet wet now. They've made some trades now. Who knows? Maybe they wake up tomorrow and think, you know what? We got this offer from this team. We got this offer from this team. Could we actually do this? Now that they've actually made some trades and they've gotten used to the idea of trading, maybe they think Paul Goldschmidt could be an option to move. So we'll have to wait and see on that. I don't think Pete Alonso is going anywhere. Man, it would be pretty surprising if Goldschmidt goes somewhere, though. So, but hey, this is what the Cardinals are doing right now. So, but let's move on. Let's take a look at the next deal that happened today. Also, real quick, let me actually get to a couple more guys on the Nationals. So, right now, the Nationals do have a couple more pieces. B&B with another super chat. They won. What bat would the Twins get? I think the Twins, they've been linked to right-handed hitters. Someone like a Tommy Pham, I think, could make some sense. I've heard Larnach has been in the rumor mill. So, I think that's very possible they could move him, especially with teams showing interest. But I think someone like Tommy Pham, I thought Mark Cano could have been a guy. But he ended up going today to the Brewers, so we'll get to that in a little bit. But I feel like someone like Pham, like someone that's not really going to break the bank in terms of, getting him, Pham seems like a decent option to me. So a couple more options here that the Nationals have. You got Kyle Finnegan. You got Lane Thomas. Lane Thomas is interesting, right? Mike Rizzo, he came out today and said, listen, we're going to be treating Lane Thomas like an everyday player. He's not going to be a platoon bat. He is an everyday player. And of course he's going to come out and, say something like that because he understands here. Mike Rizzo is like the definition of leverage. Like he is going to come out and be like, yeah, this, right? Because he wants to keep the leverage very high. So no surprise to see that he's saying Lane Thomas will be treated like an everyday player. He's having a good year. So, hey, I think it would take a bit to get him. And as you can see here, the value is right around $18 million. Finnegan, I definitely think Finnegan's going to be moved. You have to trade Finnegan. And there's definitely going to be teams lining up for him. So be on the lookout for the Nationals here. So let's get to a big trade. Big trade that dropped today. I was actually wondering if the Red Sox would possibly be in on someone like an Aaron Civale, because I'm thinking, the Guardians, maybe they could use someone like Alex Verdugo, a bat that could really kind of give their lineup a bit of a spark. He has been slumping lately, so I do think that could hurt his value a little bit, but I really thought there could have been a chance that the Red Sox could get someone like Civale because he's a cost-controlled starting pitcher. So we'll have to wait and see. But we'll see what the Red Sox end up doing. But for the Rays, I really like this move for the Rays. I know a lot of people are saying like, oh, Manzardo, going to the Guardians, that guy can hit. I like Manzardo a lot. That dude was nasty last year in A-ball. Dude was hitting everything. This year, he is slumping a little bit. He's not having the same kind of year as he's gone up in the minors for the Rays. So the Rays basically just said, you know what? We got an opportunity here to get someone like Civale, who's going to be in our rotation for the next couple of years. I think this is really good for the Rays. For Civale, you're going to have a guy here. He's got a high floor. There's not much of a ceiling with Civale, but with Civale, he's going to be a guy that's going to be in the middle of your rotation. You can give the ball to him every fifth day. He's going to give you innings, and he's having a pretty good year. Aaron Civale is actually having a decent year. The ERA is looking all right this year. It's looking pretty good. But when you take a look at the FIP with Civale, it is a little higher. So To me, I think Savali is more of like a mid 3, low 4 ERA kind of a guy, because when you look at the FIP compared to the ERA, it's a 3.55 compared to the 2.34. So I just think he's a solid guy to have. Like, he's not going to be blowing you away with like nasty velocity or crazy stuff, but he's going to be a guy that's going to throw a ton of strikes. He's going to have good movement in the zone. He's got a slider. He's got a curveball. Again, not a ton of velocity. He sits in the low 90s with his velocity, but that's not his game. I'm not saying he's, Greg Maddux over here, but the repertoire that he has kind of reminds me of that. I'm not saying he's Greg Maddux. Don't even come at me in the comments and say, you really just said Aaron Savali is Greg Maddux. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying kind of reminds me of that a little bit. Not much velocity, but throws a ton of strikes. So when you look at the walks here, 2.57 walks per 9. That's actually up from last year, 2 walks per 9. So he's actually, the strikeouts are down this year, but the walks are up a smidge. However, the home runs are down this year with Savali, so I think that's a good sign. Overall, I really like this for the Rays. It's a high floor guy that goes right into your rotation. They've been having injuries this year. Taj Bradley just got sent back down. So when I'm looking at this rotation for the playoffs, I like it. I like McClanahan for game 1. I like Glasnow for game 2. You got Eflin probably for game 3, but then you got Savali waiting in the wings as well. I think this is 4 really good starting pitchers. I think this is really solid. So, and then you got Taj Bradley, who will come back at some point. So, really like this move for the Rays. I think this is very good. But the one other thing with Savali that I'm going to also point out is you got him for here a couple more years. So you got him here for 24 and 25. So that sounds pretty good if you ask me. But for Manzardo, look at this. MLB Pipeline, not only did they already put Manzardo in the Guardians' top 10 prospects or top 30 prospects, they have already given him the Guardians hat. Look at that. That's great work from the people at MLB Pipeline. Good job. The fact that you already photoshopped a hat onto the guy, that is just great. Kyle Manzardo, I tweeted this when he got drafted a couple of years ago. His best tool is easily his mustache. He looks fantastic with the mustache. My goodness. But on a serious note, funny enough, when I tweeted that, Manzardo himself actually liked the tweet. And his mom, I think, liked the tweet. I thought that was hilarious. But when it comes to Manzardo at the plate, like I said, last year, really good with the bat. High A ball, he was looking really good. Double A, he was looking really good there too. 30 games at Double A, so he's been in Triple A at Durham all year. And he just hasn't really been able to put together the same kind of results. The batting average has dropped. The on base is still okay at a 342, but it's not what it was last year. The slugging has dipped into the 440s. He's got 11 homers. He still has a good strikeout to walk ratio. I will say that. 42 walks, 65 Ks. That's really solid overall. So I'm not going to worry about Manzardo's numbers here. I think in the end, he wasn't really going to get much playing time with the Rays. You got Yandy Diaz there. I just think, to me, when you had a chance to get Savali, a cost-controlled starting pitcher, and all you had to give up was... I don't want to say all you had to give up, because Manzardo is a really solid prospect, a really good bat. But for the Rays, for them, they just had to give up a guy, despite him being in their top 5 prospects. He was a guy that was essentially blocked. I'm sure he could have gotten some at-bats, DHing, stuff like that. But it seems like the Rays are okay when it comes to their bats. So I feel like Manzardo wasn't going to be getting much playing time over the next couple of years anyway, unless he completely forced himself in. So when his numbers aren't really looking that good anyway, why not just go get yourself a pitcher for the next couple of years? I think it's a good move overall. And for the Guardians, hey, their farm is always just so solid. And now you got a really good bat here in the top 5. I love this. I love this overall. So I think it's a good trade for both sides. Once again, another trade on baseballtradevalues.com. Approved. I don't know where the haters are, everyone. Where are the haters? I don't see them anywhere. Everyone that likes to trash on this site. I actually just had someone a little earlier on Twitterland, the most happy place on earth. I actually just had someone retweet, I think it was the Candelario trade, whatever. But he basically retweeted what Baseball Trade Value said. And he said, oh, this site is absolute trash. It makes no sense. This player is valued at this. This makes no sense. Blah, 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 blah. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of these people. That I can tell that when people trash on the site that, oh, and then there was another guy who said like, oh, I don't know how Bryce Harper has the same value as like this minor league player. That just shows me that you didn't even read the site. You didn't read anything about how it works. So I'm tired of these, people on Twitter that they just think they know everything, I don't get it. I don't get it. Anyway, let's move on here. Let's move on. So we've had a couple more trades. Let's get to it here. We got 400 people in this chat. And thank you for stopping by, everyone. I do greatly appreciate it. I've been seeing some subscribers, so for those of you that have subscribed during this stream, thank you for joining us. Do appreciate it. Everyone, if you can, hit that like button. Where are we at with the likes right now? We are at 117 likes. Let's make the like goal 150 if we can get there. Everyone, if you can share this stream, I will greatly appreciate it. Go put it on Twitter. Go tell your grandma down the road. Let's get everyone in here. We got 400 people. Let's see if we can get to 500 people by the end of the night. Here we go. So back to the trades that have been happening today. So we had Candelario. We had Savali. Pretty solid moves overall for both teams. But let's move on. We got the Diamondbacks. And, hey, the Diamondbacks, they needed to add something for this bullpen. Absolutely needed to add something for this bullpen. And they went out and got Paul Sewald. Really solid move, I think. Paul Sewald, he's got a very good track record. And so far this year for the Mariners, having a good year. Taking a look at Paul Sewald. A 2.93 ERA, the FIP at a 2.98, over 45 games and 43 innings. And taking a look here, he's got 21 saves. And we actually did just see a report not too long ago that the Mariners were okay with trading from their rotation, trading from their bullpen. So, hey, those reports came to be true. So let's take a look at the trade itself. Another trade approved. So for the Diamondbacks, I mean, they're getting around $9 million worth of value with Sewald. I'm kind of surprised the Mariners didn't get more in this deal. I don't like this really for the Mariners very much. Yeah, I just don't like it. You got a couple of mid-range prospects. Rojas is a guy that gives you... Listen, I like Josh Rojas. I really do. I love the versatility. I think he's a really just solid player overall. But the bat this year is not good. The bat has completely diminished this year. I just find... I don't know. Like, I don't like this for the Mariners. So with the Mariners, Sewald was expendable. But... you couldn't get any more. I just feel like this is a guy you probably should have hung on to for a little while. For the Mariners, sure, you're going to get a guy that can play multiple positions for you. He's a guy that could, step in. I mean, right now, I don't know why Fangraphs has him listed in AAA. I would imagine he's going to be on the major league roster. But looking at Rojas this year, he had a good season last year at the plate. Last year, over 125 games, he hit 269, a 349 on base. Those are pretty solid. But this year, the average is down to 228. On base is down to 292. He's got no home runs. He's not even stealing as many bases. I think he was also hurt at some point this year, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't know. I just don't really like it all that much. If we were to actually take a look at the game log, I mean, over the last... So, yeah, he actually did miss some time. I was right. He missed over a month. So, I mean, he hasn't gotten a hit here since June 16th. I mean, he's 0 for 3 in his last 2 games. I don't know. I don't get it. Am I missing something? I mean, Mariners fans, like, you know, let me know. Am I missing something here? Is there something about Josh Rojas that's completely going over my head? I don't know. But for the Diamondbacks, I think this is huge. I love this for the Diamondbacks. You're getting a reliever that you really needed. I feel like, why is this trade not being talked about more? This is a big deal for the Diamondbacks here. You know, this bullpen really needed something. So now at the back end of the bullpen, you got Sewald, you got Chafin, you got Ginkel, you got Mago. That's not bad. You know, that's a decent back end of the bullpen right there. So I do think they need to go get a starter. I think this is a good start, getting Sewald. If they can go get a starting pitcher tomorrow, maybe they can go get a Lorenzen, maybe you can go get Eduardo Rodriguez even. I think they need something for this rotation. I think they need something. T. Walls, how you doing? Do you think the Red Sox would trade Mata for Flaherty and DeYoung? I don't know if Mata really has too much value as of right now, because Mata's a guy that's had a lot of injuries over the last few years. I don't really see a team wanting to take a chance on him. I think really for the most part with Mata, he's going to be a guy that's just going to be, you know, in your system, you know, just for, you know, for, I don't know, like until like maybe he's finally healthy and he can finally come up and contribute a little bit. That's what I think overall. So, you know, I don't see that happening. I think if they're going to get Flaherty and DeYoung, I think personally you're going to have to, I feel like you're going to have to at least give up someone in that. I don't know. Maybe you could end up just getting, giving back like a couple of top 15 prospects, a couple of guys in the 15 to 10 range. I don't think for Flaherty and DeYoung, I don't think you're going to have to give up anything top 10. But then again, it's possible. I mean, Montgomery, you know, for Montgomery with the Rangers, I don't think they had to give up a top 10. I could be wrong about that. I could be wrong. At least with a pitcher. I feel like Dakoa Roby was outside the top 10. Could be wrong about that. But no, I don't think I don't think Mata's going to be involved in any deals unless a team really just wants to take a chance on him, because he has good stuff. He has pretty decent velocity. So in the end, I don't see that happening. So I love this for the Diamondbacks. I think it's fantastic. I think it's a great move. Awesome move for the bullpen. There's nothing really much else to say. This Diamondbacks team, they've been really struggling lately. I think in the end, they needed to make a move like this. They needed to right the ship a little bit, and this is going to go a long way for them. So taking a look here. Genetic, how you doing? John Heyman just said the Yankees are willing to listen to offers on their free agents. Interesting. Very interesting. So let's actually go here to the Yankees free agents. 1 second here. We got about 400 people in the chat. Everyone, I appreciate you stopping by tonight. Greatly appreciate that, as always. Tomorrow, we will be live. I'm not sure what time I'm going live, but I'm shooting for a long stream tomorrow. When we had the MLB draft, we had almost 3,000 people in that chat. So I would love to have a stream like that tomorrow. And to me, if that means that I got to start bright and early, then I will. MLB Network, they're going to be having like an all-day thing tomorrow. I think we might have to do the same here on this channel. So, but let's take a look at the Yankees. So John Heyman is saying that. So let's pull up here the... let's go to his Twitter. John Heyman. Where is he saying that? Here we go. So 2 minutes ago. 2 minutes ago. Here we go. John Heyman. The Yankees are willing to at least listen on their free agents to be. I mean, listen, I think the Yankees stink. I'm not saying that as a Red Sox fan. I'm saying that as just a guy that watches baseball. I think it's like such a... The team just seems dead. They just seem like they got no energy. They can't hit. I mean, I don't know. But if we were to go to the Yankees, let's go to the free agents that are coming up. I don't know, man. So one more... Actually, let me take a quick look Let me go back here. So the Yankees, as of right now, they are 55 and 50. I mean, they're still in that wild card race. They're not completely out of it. Not completely out of it. They're 3.5 out. It just seems like for the Yankees, 3.5 for them, it just feels like it's like 10, you know? I almost feel that way with the Red Sox in a way. It's weird because the Red Sox, they just have so much more oomph to them, and the Yankees are still hanging around here. That's what kind of blows my mind about this Yankees team, because they have just been really not great, but they're still in it. It's like so weird how they're just hanging around. So, but if we were to look at some free agents for the Yankees, you know, you got a couple. You got Severino, you got Bader, you know, you got IKF, you got Peralta. You know, I mean, Gleyber Torres has been in the news. I don't think Cashman's ever going to trade Gleyber Torres. I don't understand what the fixation is behind Gleyber Torres. I'll never get it. I'll never understand it. But Mia Adair, how you doing? I feel like the Cubs should get one more pitcher. I agree. I feel like if they're going to really go for it, go get one more guy. I could agree with you there. Captain Spartan 04, how you doing? Besides Hader, what left-handed relievers are available? What left-handers are available? I don't even know. I mean, let's go take a look at some the leaderboards here. Goodness, I haven't even thought about what lefties. Well, Hader's not available, so we can just. I mean, you got someone like a Brent Suter. Wait, no, I don't think. Well, is he back from the IL yet? I don't know. But taking a look. Let's look at the splits. Let's look at. Nope, we're looking at pitching as a left-handed pitcher. So what lefties could be available here? All right. Nope, let's do relievers. Here we go. So, I mean, if I'm looking, I don't think Aaron Bummer is going to go anywhere. Aaron Bummer was a guy that had come up in the rumor mill a little bit, and I feel like the White Sox want to hang on to him because he's under a lot of control. You got someone like an Austin Cox, who's done pretty well when it comes to his FIP. I mean, we're just talking about how the Mariners are willing to deal from their bullpen. Could a Gabe Spire be there? Possibly. There's not a whole lot of lefty guys when I'm really looking at, like, Sam Moll was a guy that just went. He just went to the Reds tonight. So you got Jose Ferrer, I'm sorry. You know, Taylor Salcedo. You know, you got a few guys that are here. Oh yeah, Brent. So like I said, Brent Suter. Is he back from the IL yet? I know he was out with the oblique or something like that. Okay, so he is back. All right, so yeah, Brent Suter could be a guy for you. So, yeah, I mean, there's not going to be a big market for lefty relievers, but I think Sam Moll was the guy that was out there on the rumor mill quite a bit. So, let's move on here. Let's go to the next trade. So, we got Candelario down. We got the Savali trade down. We got the Sewald trade down. So, we got Mark Canha up next. So, hey, the Mets, they're selling here, and we're gonna get to the Mets in just a little bit. But Mark Canha, hey, a right-handed bat going to the Brewers. The Brewers are always just trying to find offense any way they can. So, you know, Canha doesn't really offer a lot of value. He's not having an amazing season. He's getting up there in age. You know, he's gonna be a free agent soon. There's not really a whole lot with Canha, but he's a guy that's going to be a right-handed bat. He's going to be a good clubhouse presence for you. You know, with Canha, I mean, right now they got him listed as the DH on Fangraphs. And, I mean, looking at his numbers, they're not amazing. They're just not great. So, 245 with the average. He's got a 343 on base. So I'll give him that. The WRC plus is a 107. They're not the worst numbers out there, but his offense is definitely down from last year. Batting average is down, on base is down, slugging is down a smidge. He's a guy that's going to get on base for you. He's basically going to be a platoon bat for you at this point. Actually, no. I mean, he doesn't even hit lefties very well. He hits righties actually better. So, but the one thing with Canha is he can play multiple positions. Plays in the corners. He can play some first base as well. Even played a little third this year. Look at Canha. So, for the Brewers, nothing crazy. For the Mets, in return, they got Jarvis, a right-handed pitching prospect. He's going to be their number 13 prospect now. With Justin Jarvis, you're looking at an ERA in the 4s as of right now. He's in AAA as we speak. Well, actually, that ERA jumped up from a 3.33 in AA. So in AAA, he's not really having an amazing time right now. But he's got 91 Ks through 75 and 2/3 innings. So good year at AA for him. Yeah, for the Mets, this is what you need to do. Add depth to your farm. This is what they need to do. So good move for the Mets overall. So we also had another deal, the Giants getting A.J. Pollock and Mark Mathias from the Mariners. You know, when it comes to A.J. Pollock, so taking a look here. When it comes to A.J. Pollock, is he actually where? So Pollock is on the IL as of right now. So remember, guys on the IL can be traded. Guys on the IL can be traded. He's not having a good year at all. So for the Giants, it just seems like they're adding some depth. You know, I don't really see a whole lot here. You also got Mark Mathias too. With Mathias, he's gonna be a righty bat. He's not doing anything really amazing this year. No, I mean, so, you know, for the Giants, they're making a low-key move here, just adding some depth. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they needed some depth. They've been having, you know, some problems in that outfield this year, so I can see why that they would do that, but, you know, nothing amazing overall. So, let's get to the rumors here. Let's get to the rumors. Let's talk Justin Verlander, shall we? Let's talk some Justin Verlander. So, you got to think here, Verlander. I don't know. I really don't know what to think with Verlander. If I'm being very honest with you, I really don't know what to think with him. I'm pretty 50-50. I mean, we kind of talked a lot about this last night. Jon Heyman, opposing team that recently engaged on Josh Hader, suggested the Padres the closer is staying, but they're not saying anything officially. All right, so some non-news from Jon Heyman. But Justin Verlander, it seems like the two teams that are going to be there for Verlander, it's either going to be the Astros or it's going to be the Dodgers. I think either or. I think the Dodgers definitely have the advantage because they have the prospects that they could send back. The Astros don't have as much prospects, so I think you have to give the advantage to the Dodgers at this point. I think the Astros still have a chance. I mean, that was said by Ken Rosenthal that they remain involved in Justin Verlander trade talks. So obviously Verlander would like to go back there if he had the choice. I think he would like to go back to the Astros instead of the Dodgers, obviously, because he was just with the Astros. So he has that familiarity, he has a good relationship with Crane. So I don't think you're going to see the Reds or the Braves get in on Verlander. I just don't see it. If you're going to have Verlander go somewhere, it's going to be to a bigger team here, a team that's a bigger market, as well as a team he's familiar with. So those are the two teams, I think. Andy Martino, he said that the Mets have talked with 3 or 4 clubs, but nothing has really progressed. So taking a look at ESPN, I'm not sure. Alden Gonzalez was saying this. So the Dodgers have been engaged with the Mets on the potential of landing Verlander, but the prospect of pulling something off has seemed unlikely given the nature of Verlander's 2025 option, which automatically vests with 140 innings in 2024. If he hits that number, the acquiring team would be on the hook for somewhere in the neighborhood of $92 million for 2+ seasons of Verlander, who will be 41 in February. Yeah, I mean, if I'm an owner of a team, I'm a little hesitant about taking that. I mean, nothing against Verlander. We've seen the history of these guys, and it's never going to be great, with these guys that are in their 40s. We've just seen these guys wear down. So, I would imagine the Mets are going to be paying, if they do trade Verlander, they're definitely going to be paying a lot of his salary for this year and next year. But you can't, I would think, if I'm thinking of it logically, I don't know, like, can you really throw in money and more money you can't really throw more money in for an option that you don't know is going to exercise. So that is a bit of an issue. I don't know. That's what I'm telling you, man. That's why I'm 50-50, because I feel like he could go somewhere. But then I would not be surprised at all if he just ends up staying. And the Mets, they can retool. They have Verlander for next season. So Scherzer was not having a good season, so that was completely okay for them to trade him. So, in the end, like, I don't know. There's not really much to say on Verlander until we hear something. Jon Morosi said, this is what I hate about these guys that, like, the media guys. Like, Jon Morosi, what are you saying here? The Orioles are one team to watch on Justin Verlander. Baltimore has the prospects to be involved in any trade. Are you actually reporting that the Orioles are involved, or are you just speculating? Like, come on. Like, of course the Orioles have prospects. Like, this to me, it's just like, it's not, I don't know, like, I don't know what he's saying. It just seems, I don't know, in my personal opinion, I don't find tweets like this from these media guys, like, very responsible. I don't like it. Like, because it's, are you speculating, or are you actually reporting it? So, real quick, let's get to the super chat here. Stathy Politis, am I saying that correctly? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. $5 super chat. Sheehan and a lower tier pitching prospect for Verlander, Pham, and 35 to 40 million. That would be ideal for me. Let's go take a look here. So, could we see the Orioles maybe get involved? Maybe, but again, Morosi, are you speculating or are you reporting this? I don't know. But let's take a look. So let's honor the super chat here. Let's go to baseball trade value. So you got Verlander and Pham. So Pham is around $1 million of value. And let's say 30 million. Let's start there. Okay. So you're looking at around 20 million. And yeah, this looks like it's right in line. If you were to get one pitching prospect, yeah, like Sheehan, that's right in line. That looks very similar to the deal with the Mets and the Rangers for Scherzer. Very similar deal. So, my goodness, I got my notifications ready. I just saw something. I saw the Red Sox logo, and I'm like, oh my, did they just make a move? But no, the game is going to be starting soon. So, I almost just had a heart attack. But yeah, I mean, of course, like, yeah, I could see something like this. This would be really good for the Mets, Then you also have to weigh out, too, what do the Mets want more? Do they want to keep Verlander and make a run next year? Or do they want to just start going youth, right? That's going to be the question. Do the Dodgers even want to give up Sheehan? Do they see a guy that could be, top of the rotation kind of guy for them down the road, So, I don't know. I like the trade. I think it's fine. It's very similar. Very similar to the Scherzer trade. So, I think it could definitely happen. Why not? But let's take a look at the Astros. If you were to do the Astros are really interesting because I don't know how much what they can really give when it comes to prospects. They don't have a lot. If we're looking at the top guys in their system right now, Colton Hollinger, how you doing, my friend? How you doing? Let me get to that super chat in just a second here. So, Colton Hollinger, do you think this is the end for Bell trading today? Bell. Are you saying this is the end of the trading for today? It seems like, I think that's what you're saying. Is this the end of the trades for today? I mean, listen, we've seen this in the last, few years. A lot of deals happen late, right? We could have something at 11 o'clock tonight. I mean, I'm just saying, it's the deadline. You could have news break at 2 a.m. So I don't know if it's the end. I really don't know. I don't know what to expect, honestly, at this point. It does feel like it's slowing down a little bit. I think we could see one big move. I do think there is that possibility. So, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it's the end or not. I don't know, personally, because it's the deadline. Anything can happen, Teams, you tend to see moves every single year where something happens in the middle of the night, right? What's everyone saying here? Nightingale? What's Nightingale saying? Bob Nightingale, what the heck are you saying right now? Bob, what do you got? Please tell me it's something good. Oh. Ah, okay. We got some news here. All right. They're going to keep Verdugo. Several teams who inquired about trading for Red Sox outfielder Alex Verdugo were told the Red Sox plan to keep him through at least this season. He's a free agent after the 2024 season. That, to me, you know what that tells me? That tells me that they weren't really getting a whole lot of good offers for him. They weren't really finding something. Yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I just don't think there was anything good out there, personally, when it comes to Verdugo, because he has been slumping lately. He's only got a year of control. He's not really going to be like a game changer kind of a guy, but he'll give you a bit of a spark if you were to move him somewhere. So personally, I think if there was a deal out there, if there was starting pitching available, then yeah, like I would be okay with that personally, because they already have a ton of outfielders. You got Ceddanne Rafaela, who's tearing it up in the minor leagues right now. I would not be surprised, or I would have not been surprised at all if Verdugo got traded. I said this over a month ago, because out of all the guys they have, when you have a surplus of offense, it just makes a lot of sense that Verdugo would be the guy that you could move, because he was close to being a free agent, right? So you see teams do stuff like that all the time. Like the Brewers, the Guardians do that. The small market teams tend to do stuff like that, where they trade them about a year before they hit free agency because their values are still higher. So they take advantage and get more value back. But it seems to me that the Red Sox, this tells me that they just weren't getting anything good offered to them with Verdugo. I think they were trying, but yeah. So I'm guessing now, I don't know. Now at this point, I don't know what the Red Sox end up doing. I really don't. I think, I don't know, man. They got to do something. Like, I think that would be, I know right now the moves Heim has made, the farm system is great. It's looking awesome. I mean, the Red Sox are obviously competing this year. I feel like you got to make a move. Like, I feel like you have to do something, right? Does that necessarily mean trading Verdugo? No. But I think you got to do something for this team. They just had a couple of walk-off losses against the Giants. I feel like a move would really help this team's spirit a bit. I think it would really help lift them up too. I think in the end, they end up making a small move. That's what I think, personally. So, as I always say, we'll have to wait and see. Thank you for letting me know about that. I appreciate that. Colton, you said end for Josh Bell after trading for Manzardo. I wouldn't say, yeah, right now, no. But Josh Bell, as of right now, I think he's a free agent after next year. Am I right about that one? Let me actually go. Do I have any Fangraphs opened up here? No. So when is Bell a free agent? So let's take a look. So we're looking at the payroll. Okay, so so he's a free agent after next year. That seems to be maybe, who knows? Maybe they end up trading Bell. You know, I feel like they end up keeping him this year, but could he end up being maybe moved in the offseason? Could they move him now? Could they flip him somewhere? Probably not. I would think you probably want to keep Bell in the lineup now. With Manzardo's not really ready yet. So, but I definitely think Josh Bell, he looked at this trade and he said, yeah, I think my days are numbered as a Cleveland Guardian, I think. Well, honestly, Bell is a DH right now. So it's not like he's going to be like bumped out. I mean, you got Naylor here. So I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'll actually backtrack on that a little bit. I don't think that necessarily means his days are numbered. Because I would honestly be thinking, but then again, Naylor, he's not going to be a free agent until 26. Well, actually, okay, no, I'll fast forward a little bit now. I will. What's the opposite of? I'll front track now. No, I actually think maybe that could be Josh Bell, possibly on the hot seat. Right? Could he end up getting moved? Maybe not this season, but maybe the off season, or you still have him for next season. Right? Manzardo hasn't really showed that he's ready to jump in, but I think Manzardo, if he ends up having a good start next year in the minors, and Bell's slumping, I could see them making that move. Absolutely. So, I think you're on the right track with that. But for Verlander, let's kind of wrap up with Verlander here. I do think right now the Dodgers have the advantage. The Astros are still going to be in the picture. Of course, you're going to have to pay some money for Verlander if you're going to send him back to the Astros. But the problem with the Astros is they don't have a whole lot that they can send back. And I think they're not really motivated to send back a whole lot of prospects right now. Their farm system is not amazing. It's just not. So I think in the end, you're going to end up seeing the Astros probably not making this move unless the Mets really, the thing is the Mets are going to have to pay a lot of money to get good prospects back in return. And the Astros, I would think, would want the Mets to pay down quite a bit of his salary, right? So if he's making $43.3 million, I would imagine, the Astros probably think he's worth like $20 to $25 million. So you're probably going to have to pay at least $30 million there. 30 to 40 million, I would imagine. But if they're going to be paying that, you're going to have to send back some prospects. And I don't really see a whole lot that the Astros would give up. I mean, I don't know. I don't really see a whole ton. I don't think they would like to trade Gilbert. I mean, Gilbert's their number one. I don't see that. He's doing pretty well this year. In high A ball, he was really good. Double A, he's cooled off a smidge, but give him time, and I think he'll be okay. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really see the Astros really being a great fit. The Dodgers, though, because the Dodgers got the prospects. That's what I think. But I think the Dodgers are also, they don't like that option. They don't like that vesting option where he gets 140 innings and then he has that option for 2025, right? So I think they're a little scared off by that. I think Verlander is going to end up staying, now that I really think about it. But then again, I could see the Dodgers doing it because they need pitching. So, again, so we're right back where we started. I'm still 50-50 on it. I don't know really what to think about it. So, moving on here, we got a couple more news and notes to talk about. We got the Braves looking for relief pitching. I'm just saying, I still think Michael Lorenzen's a great idea because you got Max Fried coming back. I think Lorenzen would be good depth. You could put him in the bullpen as well. Michael Lorenzen is still my guy for the Atlanta Braves personally. So, I don't know. I just think, you definitely still got some relievers out there. I think Hader is pretty much staying with the Padres at this point. If you're the Padres, I mean, you gotta stand pat now. They're right there. You have a good team. I don't know. I think the Padres are 5 out. They've won 3 straight, coming off of a sweep of the Rangers. I think they end up staying, and I think they're going to actually maybe even buy. Yogi Dude, what's going on, my friend? How you doing? As an M's fan, highly disappointed so far. Dipoto makes too many C-grade trades. Too many quadruple A utility players. Hopefully Canzone will turn out fine. I don't like that trade at all. I'm right there with you. I don't like that trade for the Mariners. You gave up a closer in Paul Sewald. I mean, I actually didn't talk about the other couple of prospects with the Mariners. I'm sorry about that the Mariners ended up getting in return. So let's actually go to that. You got a couple of mid-range guys, right? So you got Ryan Bliss. This is an underrated guy in the draft a couple of years ago. I like Ryan Bliss. I think that's pretty decent. But he's not really much of a power guy. However, Ryan Bliss is having a pretty decent year in the minor leagues. So I do like that. Triple A, he's not really doing amazing. But Double A this year, he was tearing it up, man. Man, oh man. He was in Double A hitting .358. He was hitting .414, a .594 slugging. OPS over 1,000. Ryan Bliss. Ooh, man, now that I'm looking at this, that's not bad. Man, 12 homers, 30 stolen bases, solid strikeout to walk ratio. You know what? Honestly, I like it for the Mariners' future. I don't like it for the Mariners right now. You also got Canzone. He's been with the Diamondbacks a little bit this year, 15 games. He hit really well in AAA this year. Okay. All right. So I'll backpedal a little bit here. I like it for the Mariners' future. I don't like it for the Mariners right now. You had a guy in Munoz that can step into the closer role. I guess I'm okay with it. I think Rojas is a little underwhelming because you are giving up a closer. But they got a couple of decent prospects here, man. Couple of decent prospects. I mean, look at the year that Canzone's having. Is it Canzone or is it Canzone? I'm probably botching it, honestly. He's hitting .354 in AAA, a .431 on base, a .634 slugging, 16 homers. He's got 39 walks and 40 strikeouts. Ooh. I mean, I'm just saying here. That's not bad. Honestly, where does Baseball America have him? Those are really, really good numbers. Those are crazy numbers. Let's take a look. Is he in the top 100 in the mid-season rankings? No. What about Bliss? I'm guessing Bliss isn't. No. So if we were to go to the Diamondbacks on Baseball America, Baseball America, they're killing me with their load times this year, man. Ever since they've updated this website, their website is so slow. I don't know. But yeah, I guess overall now, because I forgot to talk about the prospects that they got. So yeah, I like the prospects. That's pretty solid. They got those two in return with the seasons that they're having. Rojas, I guess he's going to give you versatility. But they need bats, man. They need bats. What is going on with Baseball America right now? Goodness gracious, what is happening? While we wait for that to load, what's going on with Eduardo Rodriguez? What's going on here? So we had something from, where was that tweet? Oh, here we go. Bob Nightingale, he said earlier today, the Tigers are definitely trading starters, Eduardo Rodriguez and Michael Lorenzen. So I'm not surprised, obviously, with Lorenzen, but Eduardo Rodriguez, I'm wondering if this guy's going somewhere. So now that I'm seeing a report out here, it is Nightingale. Sometimes, he gets things wrong. But, I mean, if he's sitting here and saying definitely trading, I mean, I think you got to put a little weight into that. So Rodriguez, if he's on the market, if the Tigers are actually going to trade him, then that's a game changer for a lot of teams because he's having a really good year. Really like that for a team if they could pick him up. If the Diamondbacks can go do this, I think that's so good. Man, that would be a really, really good 1-2 punch with Gallen and Rodriguez. So, where could they end up going? We've seen a few teams connected with these two. The Orioles, the Marlins, the Rays, Astros. But then again, I don't know what the Astros are even doing. The Astros say they need something on this day, and then another day comes up, and then they don't need anything. Then they don't need it, right? So they were saying here that they were looking for starting pitching, and then they come out and say, yeah, we're not really looking for starting pitching. I don't know why. It's just weird that they're doing that. So could the Astros get Eduardo Rodriguez? I did predict in my my one trade for each team video I posted a couple of weeks ago, which everyone, thank you so much for helping me get that video to 100,000 views. That is wild to me that I got a video to 100,000 views. My first video that got to 100K. I know there's other baseball guys out there on YouTube. They have multiple videos that have gotten 100,000 views. That's my first one. And that felt pretty good. That felt really good. So I just want to thank you all for that. If whoever watched it, thank you so much for that. It's so greatly appreciated. That's just wild to me still. But in that video, I did have Eduardo Rodriguez going to the Astros. Let's see. Diamondbacks I think are perfect. The Rays, I think you can take them out now because they got Savali. The Orioles, what are the Orioles doing? Go, man, Baltimore, go do something. Goodness. I don't know if the thing with the Marlins that I think is interesting. The thing with the Marlins that I find interesting is I wonder if they trade Braxton Garrett or Edward Cabrera to get some offense, and then they make a separate trade to bring in someone like Eduardo Rodriguez or Michael Lorenzen. I could see something like that. I definitely could. So I definitely think that's a possibility. So what do we got here in the chat? Genetic, Andy Martino, John Morosi. What do we got? Let's go to it. Here we go. John Morosi. What are you saying here, John? What do you got? Teoscar Hernandez drawing interest from at least a half dozen teams, and a trade is increasingly likely. Man, what are the Mariners doing here? Find that interesting. The Phillies, Blue Jays, and Giants are among the clubs that have been involved. Interesting. The Blue Jays. Could you imagine the Blue Jays going back to Toronto? We're seeing a lot of players this year go back to their old teams. Could you see the Phillies get involved here? I could see that match. All right, let's pull up some Fangraphs here. I got too many tabs open. I don't know what's going on here. So Justin Verlander, we don't know what the heck's going on with him. But let's go. I think the Phillies actually are pretty decent. Let's actually pull up the Mariners too. Speaking of the Mariners, did we get the rankings loaded here? Remember, we were looking at the prospects that the Mariners ended up getting. So they got Ryan Bliss. Is Bliss even in their top 30? Really? Oh, yeah, he is. He's at number 16. So the number 16 on Pipeline. And then they got Canzone. So he's their 13. So they're right around the same with Pipeline. But, man, these guys are having nasty seasons. So, hey, for the Mariners, hey, both those guys are pretty close to Major League ready, too. So I like it overall. But looking at Teoscar Hernandez, he has not really been amazing this year. Not really been anything special. I kind of, when I saw Teoscar Hernandez get traded I kind of had a feeling that his numbers would dip because the advanced numbers from last year compared to 2021 had gone down. So I was wondering if Teoscar was going to see a dip this year, and I'm not surprised that his numbers are dipping. 105 games. The slash line is really abysmal. 238, 288, 408. A 93 WRC plus. I don't know about this. You know, he's going to give you some pop, sure. Why not? For the Phillies, you could put him out in left field. That would give you a right-handed bat. I could see that. I could see Teoscar going to the Phillies. I think that's very possible. So if we were to actually put together a trade here, let's get rid of this Verlander trade. Let's see. Verlander to the Dodgers. Could it actually happen? But let's go Phillies for Teoscar. And let's go Mariners. Just making sure. Do we have any super chats that I missed? Nope. Last one was from Yogi Dude. Yogi Dude, thank you so much for that. Everyone else, thank you so much for super chats. Do appreciate those. Everyone, we're almost at 200 likes. If you can help us get to 200 likes, I will love you forever. Subscribe if you are new. So I would imagine Hernandez is going to be an underwater contract. Slightly. Or maybe zero value. Maybe a little value. Where is Hernandez? Oh, yeah, he's at 1.3. All right, so that's not expensive. That sounds right up the Phillies' alley. Not a deep farm. Yeah, I mean, I could see the Phillies doing this. I think it's a matter of will they have the best offer at this point. So getting back to the tweet, the Giants. Well, the Giants just got A.J. Pollock. You know? Does that mean that they're going to go after another outfielder? I could see that. If I were to pick one of these teams for Teoscar Hernandez, I think it's going to be, I would say the Phillies. That seems like a decent fit for me. I like that. I like that overall. What else do we got? What else we got? Genetic. You said also Andy Martino. Andy Martino. What the heck is Andy Martino saying? Martino's got an update on Verlander. 11 minutes ago, no Justin Verlander trade is close. If Houston gets aggressive on it, could be a fit. Listen, I'm literally at 50-50 when it comes to Verlander, man. I'm completely 50-50. You know, I don't think it's... I don't know. Because Houston, again, I'll repeat it one more time. Don't think Houston has the prospects because the Mets, they're going to want the Mets to pay down a certain amount of money, but they don't have the prospects. Unless the Astros are okay with taking on a good amount of salary, but the Mets want to pay down the salary because they want the prospects. I don't see the Astros as a perfect fit. I really don't. I think the only team that really makes sense are the Dodgers, you know? But B&B, Trevor May, be on the lookout for Trevor May. We talked about Sam Moll earlier. I definitely think Trevor May is going to get moved for sure. That'll be a move tomorrow. But yeah, so not really much going on with Verlander right now. I think these teams right now, they're probably moving Verlander to the back burner, and they're kind of focusing on other moves at this point. So we'll have to wait and see. But not much going on there. Hey, could Trevor May be an option for the Braves? That would be a low-cost option for the Atlanta Braves. I could see maybe that. Trevor May going to the Braves. Wouldn't be the most... He's had a pretty abysmal season, but he has been pitching well lately. So, I mean, we got a lot going on here, everyone. I mean, you know, I think really tomorrow is going to be the day. You know, we're not seeing a whole lot with Eduardo Rodriguez and Lorenzen. I think we've seen most of the moves for tonight. I really do. I think tomorrow you're going to start seeing some moves. You always do. You always do. So let me just make sure no one has said anything. Let me just make sure. Hey, everyone, if anyone isn't following me on Twitter, or sorry, not Twitter, X, go follow me on X. It is at GingerSnapHide Go follow me on there. I'm always rambling about something. My mind is always on something. So, you know, I know people love my what do you call it? My dedication to baseball trade values. I know the people love it out there. That is sarcasm, by the way. But yeah, you'll find me talking Red Sox and whatever else going on in baseball. So go shoot me a follow. Go shoot me a follow if you want to. But let's take a look. John Morosi. So we just read the Teoscar Hernandez one. John Heyman 30 minutes ago. Nothing really going on there. Yankees willing to listen. The Yankees are so just, I don't know about this Yankees team, man. I don't know, dude. The Yankees, I am really now fully understanding. I've understood it in the last couple of years, but I am really now fully understanding why Yankee fans are just so frustrated with this team. Dude, I don't know. I don't know. They're not good. To me, you gotta be making moves here. If you're the Yankees, you got such an underwhelming team. And to me, it's like, do you really think this team is going to win? I don't know, man. I don't know. They're just not exciting. I'm not even trying to sound like a biased Red Sox fan. You all know I have given plenty of respect to the Yankees. Plenty of respect. I'm just calling it how it is, man. They're just like trying to just stay above water at this point. Their offense is awful. I just think their philosophy, it's just not working. I don't know. I think they need to move on from Cashman, to be honest. I really think, ownership is not going to do that, though. I do think they need someone different in that role. That's just me. What can you do? But what else do we got? People have been speculating, Fangraphs. Look at that spam. Man, who wants a spam and cheese sandwich right now? Are you kidding me? But Fangraphs, they put together a package. Let's actually go take a look at Fangraphs real quick. They put together some trade proposals 3 days ago. They got Paul Goldschmidt leading the way. So they got the Phillies getting Goldschmidt for Rojas, Hao-Yu Lee, Carlos De La Cruz. Yeah, sure. I think that'd be good for the Phillies. I think, honestly, for the Cardinals, they're trying to load up on pitching right now. So, Orioles get Dylan Cease. We also did have a report about Dylan Cease. I will actually pull that up. I think it was... where was it? Was it on MLB Trade Rumors? We heard a few days ago that they were turning down people, right? They were turning down teams for Dylan Cease. I think they need to get blown away. People are just going to keep coming up with trade proposals. I think the White Sox need to hang on to them. So, where was this report? It was John Morosi. Okay, so he's saying 10 teams are looking for pitching. So Ken Rosenthal. Oh, that's what it was. It was Rosenthal's article. So the perception among many in the industry is that Cease and Luis Robert Jr. remain all but untouchable. Some rival executives see the White Sox willingness to entertain offers as an opening, however small. For me, if you're the White Sox, I think teams, to me, I would want a good pitcher in return. I would want a good pitching prospect in return if that's me, because the White Sox, they have nothing to build around in that rotation. I would want something close to Major League ready if it's me. So let's actually put together a trade here. The Dodgers make sense because they got 3 young starting pitchers. You got Sheehan. You got Grove. You could probably do Grove and Pepio, in a deal. You could do Sheehan and Pepio. I wouldn't put all 3 together. But I think you could get 2 of those 3 if the Dodgers wanted to do that. The Orioles, I don't think the Orioles have a lot of pitching prospects that you could send back. I don't think the Reds really want to be giving up prospects at this point. I don't know. If I'm looking at teams, I think the Diamondbacks are interesting. They got prospects. I don't know if they really have like an amazing pitching prospect you could send. The Dodgers just make so much sense. This is why Chaim Bloom wants to be like the Dodgers. This is why. Because the Dodgers can do anything they want. They can literally go and get whatever heckin' piece they want. Yeah, I said heckin'. Yeah, I did say that. I'm just saying. The Dodgers, their organization is amazing. When I'm looking, I don't know. I'm thinking of teams that have good pitching prospects that you could send back. I mean, if I were to go here, let me go to the farm system rankings. So who are some teams that have at least a 55 pitcher? The Diamondbacks do have someone. Who is that? They got Brandon Pfaadt. Could you see that maybe? Brandon Pfaadt for Dylan Cease. Maybe something like that. I think I wouldn't completely turn that down. The Giants got Kyle Harrison. The Padres, who do they got again? They got, what is it, Snelling? Oh, no, Lesko. That's right. The Phillies got Mick Abel, and you got Painter. I don't think they do it. Could you do Mick Abel in a deal for Dylan Cease? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe Painter? I don't know. But those guys aren't really major league ready yet. And Painter's on the IL. Toronto. I mean, you got Tiedemann. Could Toronto maybe make a deal? Send back Tiedemann in a package? There's not a whole lot of teams out there. You got the Pirates. They got, and obviously they just drafted Paul Skeens. I mean, my goodness. Like I said, you got Painter. There's not a whole lot of teams out there that could really make, I think, who knows? I don't know if that's what the White Sox would even want, but I would imagine they would want a good pitching prospect in return. That's just me. If I'm if I'm the White Sox and I'm looking, at some offers, if I don't got a good pitcher there, I'm just keeping him. That's just my opinion. Luis Robert is not going anywhere. If anyone actually puts together a Luis Robert trade, I will just laugh myself to sleep. My goodness. But in the end, everyone, there's not too much going on as of right now. Tomorrow will be a busy day. We'll have to wait and see what ends up happening tomorrow. We just got a super chat in here. What do we got? So, professionally certified hater. Let me move out of the way from that super chat. Mets fan here. I would love Sheehan, Ryans, Bruns for Verlander and Cash. That said, we're 5 games out and we're losing. Oh, what did I just say? And we're losing Justin Verlander. We're 5 games out and losing Justin Verlander, leaving our rotation very vulnerable. So, yeah. Yeah, that would. It's funny with the Mets, man, because, we're all thinking like, oh, Mets are selling. Everyone's talking about how the Padres are right there, and the Mets are still right there. They're not completely dead. They're not. I mean, I know the Padres right now, their team does look better when you look at the overall team, but the Mets are not dead. They're just not. Like, you can't fully count them out. I know you are very close to, and a lot of people have already given up on this Mets team, but they're not completely dead. Win a few games in a row, and all of a sudden you're 3.5 out, and then all of a sudden your opinion changes. So, yeah, losing Justin Verlander, professionally certified hater, yeah, that is going to leave your rotation pretty vulnerable at that point. I think, to me, if you have a chance to get some young pitching, I think you got to take advantage of that, It's going to be very interesting for Verlander. I don't think it's a slam dunk that he gets traded. I really don't. I think Scherzer was way more likely, right? Because Verlander has that weird option, right? He's got the 140 inning vesting option there. To me, that and Scherzer had the player option, right? So, or he had the opt out, right? So that was like the weird thing with Scherzer. Verlander's different, right? So that makes it a little more complicated. So, but everyone, tomorrow, we will be live. We will be live. We're at 183 likes right now. If you can get us to 200, that would be amazing. I will love you forever. We are going to be live tomorrow. I'm going to probably go all day. I'm not kidding. I think I'm getting myself mentally prepared to be live all day until 6 o'clock. I think I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to get up bright and early, and I'm going to be ready to sit my butt down at this desk and talk deadline pretty much all day. I'll probably have some certain little screens ready, and I got to take a bathroom break or whatever it is, but I'm ready. I'm ready, everyone. I'm ready for a big day for tomorrow. I missed out last year. I got to make up for last year. I wasn't here last year. I only went live that night, right? So tomorrow is going to be a big day, and I'm ready for it. Everyone, I'm out of here. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to get myself some rest. It was a little early for tonight. I usually go live a little later, but I wanted to go early just in case something does happen tonight. I think there's a chance that it could. I will be ready to go live if something breaks. So be on the lookout just in case. I'll be ready. But everyone, be here tomorrow. I will be here for a long time tomorrow. Have yourself a great night, everyone. If you can on the way out, hit the like button for me. Subscribe again if you are new. I know we just got some new subscribers tonight, so thank you to all the new subscribers. Hit the bell notification. That way you know I go live tomorrow and in the future. Share this stream. Share any of the other videos on this channel as well. Thank you to all the super chatters tonight. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to the members for stopping by. Everyone, also, one more time, don't forget about Underdog Fantasy, our new partner on the channel. Click the link in the description down below, and you get your first deposit doubled. It's pretty fun. I'm having a good time with Underdog Fantasy. Go check it out, and make sure you play responsibly. Have yourself a great night, everyone, and I'll talk to you next time.